All right. So, number one, thank you for having us here. We're live at the Dell Solutions Center here for an AI event. So great day to collaborate. So, taking a little bit of time, introduce myself real quick. My name is Gary Yates. Channel. I spent the last be 20 years in channel, so understand channel partners, the partnerships, an OEM perspective, all the way down to great partners like FedData, who's here with us today, as well as Bluescape and Zapata. So that's me.
And this is Dr. Gianluca Longoni. I'm director for HPC and AI at FedData Technology Solutions. We're based in Maryland. Been doing work as a government contractor for a good 10 years now. And my background actually is nuclear power. So that's me.
And I'm Andrew Schofield with Zapata Technology. We're headquartered out of Augusta, Georgia. We're a small 8A company. I'm the principal technology strategist for the company and director. And been working in the DoD space for about 22 years right now.
Awesome. And my name is Alan Richardson. I'm with Bluescape. We cover visualization and communication and collaboration. It's all about secure interaction with secure technologies and secure individuals so that they can bring in information, share that in a secure space, and then convey that information out. My background is some AI, some video analysis, imagery, as well as video distribution over networks. So this is kind of an evolution of communication into a new realm of collaborative communication.
Awesome. All right, so obviously the topic today is AI. A lot of excitement around it, a lot of commercials, a lot of people talking about it. I mean, the industry's going wild over AI. It's, it was cloud 15 years ago. We've all been here long enough to know that here we are, and it's AI, right? So, Luca, I'll start with you. I mean, why is AI so important to our customers?
Well, especially in the federal space, and based on my experience serving a number of customers in the intelligence community, I think shortening the intelligence life cycle and the time that it takes to actually produce actionable intelligence can be definitely impacted by having generative AI helping in sorting through data and making predictions and proposing alternatives and solutions. And that goes together with the overarching goal that is help the personnel from the government that is in harm's way. So can we have our personnel partner with a serious technology, with a serious system that can actually help them in their day-to-day activity?
Awesome. What about you, Drew?
Yeah, so I take a slightly different tact. When people say AI today, I say that that's automation and integration. That's where it really has to start. In order to get to our AI ML models, you have to have automation, right? You have to get the data where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. And as we're looking at these enormous data sets with billions and billions of parameters, getting that data is a lot harder than it used to be, right? Everyone looks at their data and says, hey, I've got a pot of gold here, right? I've got the answer. I can cure cancer. I just have to dig it out of my data. So being able to get the data where it needs to be, being able to present it to a large language model, be able to present it to these cutting edge technologies, that's where Zapata focuses, is getting that automation and then that integration and preparing it for whether it's training of AI ML, whether it's generating synthetic data, whether it is actually just exposing the data for data discovery to a large language model. So I think that AI means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and to us, that automation and integration, setting it up for the artificial intelligence and machine learning is what we do.
Awesome.
So from the perspective of collaboration around AI, sometimes there's more than one technology or tool that will work for what you're trying to do, and in some cases comparing what are the results from this model versus that model, which one gives me more insight. Of course, the acceleration, being able to get to the data faster with a machine that can actually process quickly, that all depends on high capacity computing and grid computing and capabilities that are just now becoming available for everyone to use. But what do you do with the data after you get the results? Now, you want to share that. You want to take that back into the loop and go back and research back Okay, now we found this insight. Let's go and see if we can find that same data farther back, right? Can we discover that in other data and other sets? So being able to collaborate and iterate and share, and sometimes, for example, in cybersecurity, you may find a threat and you need to keep that secure while alerting other people that that threat exists without releasing it broadly. So it's a secure information that you have. You need to make others aware. You need to quickly get the information in and quickly get it back out. So it's about speed to process the information, get it back out.
I completely agree.
And
Yeah.
I can also add that from a partnership perspective, I think we, the three of us, we bring unique capabilities to the table with Dell, of course, which is state-of-the-art visualization and collaboration environment, large-scale data ingestion systems like the ingest. And on our side, with the AI and generative AI models that we develop and deal with at FedData, we basically close the entire ecosystem here. So we have the entire ecosystem. It's visualization, it's data ingest, and it's a large language model applied to government, for government applications. So.
Yeah, that's great. So speaking of the partnership, I mean, obviously you guys are here in partnership with a solution. Before we get to that point, though, I mean, FedData, right, in my opinion, and I've got purview of a lot of partners, and there's a lot of partners are still waiting and asking and figuring out like what right looks like, and it just seems like you guys were one of first to market that we've seen, right, at least on our side. Why jump both feet in the pool? I mean, obviously you're passionate about AI with your background, but what made you guys take that step that a lot of our partners and OEM partners haven't taken?
Absolutely, it's a pivotal moment. We are living it's the time to market. It's critical, and especially in technologies like these, like generative AI. So when in November 2022, when ChatGPT was announced, there was literally a rush to get into this.
Sure.
And I think, and I owe it in a way to FedData personnel, sales division, engineering division. They all recognized the importance of being there as it happens, not when everything is done. So, for example, today, like at FedData, we have designed this RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generative AI. It's basically a knowledge management system. It's something that allows you to sift through massive amount of data very fast. And we designed that when the word RAG wasn't even out, actually. They were called just generative AI. And what do you do? Well, you chat with documents. Today, it's way more. There is way more to that, but today it's basically that evolution. And I think, in a way, again, I owe it to FedData that they had enough vision to say, let's start now and let's not wait for the wave, to go over, because that's another strategy. But I think what they did was right. What we did was right, I think. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. Second part to that question, what sets your solution apart from what you've seen so far, Luca?
I would say today I can firmly state, well, number one is the fact that our application is can be deployed enterprise-wide. Making a light bulb doesn't make you General Electric. So you can make a RAG, sure, can make, but then what happens when 1,000 people hit enter at the same time looking for an answer? It's complex technology that you need to deal with, and it's a combination of software and hardware. So that's why we are partnering together and with Dell to actually solve this problem. I would say, again, scalability, accuracy. I would say the product that we have is fairly accurate in responses. We try to reduce hallucinations with a number of techniques. Well, the RAG technique is definitely one. We have a data source that is curated, and we can use that or get it from the ingest, which that would be actually even better. That would be real-time data probably coming in, and visualize it with Bluescape. And I think that's also a unique feature. We can actually link with different technologies fairly easily. It's the fact that we can combine. It's almost like combining Lego bricks together. So I think I said it. Performance, accuracy, and that would sum it up.
That's great. Well, let's talk about those Lego bricks, because again, you guys are in here as a partnership, right? And there's a live use case that you guys are engaged on today. Don't have to go into specifics, but How did the use case come about? Customer obviously came to you with a problem, and kind of what's the outcome they're looking for?
So we got a comma separated value, right? Your standard spreadsheet, right? With a bunch of telemetry that was taken every 5 milliseconds. And when you look at that data, at first it seems overwhelming. It's hard to make sense of what that data is. And one of the key capabilities, I believe, in generative AI, specifically in the RAG technology, is being able to interact and reveal those non-obvious connections, right? You look at the data and you see how it interacts with other pieces of data. And because you're in a generative situation, you can swap data out. You can say, what would happen if this data point were X instead of Y? What would happen if we had 3 additional data points? And so you can actually bring a holistic use case to a customer, and you can say, this is great. This is what we can reveal to you today. This is what you're missing. You give us these 3 more data points, and they might already have them. And now we can reveal these not obvious connections, these things that the customer didn't even know was in their data, or we can show where that gap might be. For Zapata, our mission is to acquire the data, to make sure that any data from anywhere to anywhere, that bridging that gap. The key to this solution is being able to ask a question of data you just got. So with Z-Ingest, we can make the data available to Luca.
Yes.
And 15 seconds later, he can immediately start asking questions of that data. There's no retraining cycle. There's no cumbersome pieces that are traditionally apparent. Every time you go to a generative, you're like, oh, well, GPT-3 was great, but you're going to love 3.5 because now it's better. And you still ask a question, and it's still on older information, where we're able to give that real-time feel and then surface it in a way that users are comfortable interacting with it.
Awesome. Anything to add, Alan?
Well, I was just thinking, earlier you asked why our background has been focused on security, big push for credentials, being able to have ATOs and FedRAMP accreditation. That starts the basis of the space to have those conversations. Because if you have the data, but you can't bring the data together, then you have a challenge. The next step then, like you're saying, is as you work through the data, you want to be able to surface that and present it back out. So again, visualization, being able to see the data. Sometimes the data exists in other countries, in other regions. You may have compute power that's happening in Europe, and as they're running their supercomputers in some other location, but you need to be able to pipe the data back out. How are you bringing that together? And then sharing that, or even nationally across all the national labs. Beyond sharing the data is also visually talking about it and explaining it and sharing your knowledge back out.
Awesome. And to really bring it into that collaboration, I think that's the key is how do you interact in real time across time and space.
Yep.
In our remote workforces that we have today.
Because think about the other option. Sending emails doesn't work. No, it doesn't really work like that. So
Exactly.
Especially in a fast-paced environment like the government services that we provide. So
So for any customers that hopefully will see this podcast and hopefully take something away from it, right? I think every customer's, what's on their mind is what's the first step, right? And how they take this leap into this AI journey. No one's going to go out and invest in data scientists, right? That are, if you can even find them, right? So what's the easiest step for a customer to take on their AI journey that they could be doing today?
Yeah, let me jump in on that first, and we'll pass it over to Luca. So the first is the data acquisition, right? Everyone, as I said, says that they've got a gold mine of data. But being able to quantify what you actually have and relate that to itself, internally reference the data, I think is the first step. So scoping, talking to our team, starting to scope, look what the data sources are, and then give us kind of the stretch goals, right? Hey, I got this, and this is all curated, and we're ready to go. But we also have this, and we also have these potential data sources to leaven, to add some volume to that data and that context. So once we've actually been able to ingest that data and make it available, and I'm going to pass that back over to Luca, then we can really make some magic happen.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I think, Drew, you nailed it, to the point. It's a partnership. It's not just, you need a solution, this is the solution, goodbye. it's a partnership. I think, especially in the field of generative AI, there is a need to understand, like Drew was pointing out, understand the scope, understand what is needed. And I think that the three of us, the companies that we work for, we are definitely suited for the challenge and for the task. But again, it's a partnership, and it's following the customer, from cradle to grave in a way, from during the entire life cycle of the product, and because it's gonna make them better, and in the end, it will also improve us because we will learn from their application. So
Right, standing on the shoulders
Yep.
of giants.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much more time we have, guys. We'll just do one quick last, kind of round table. Start with you, Luca. You've been around this partnership for a long time. Obviously, we launched the XC9680 last year at Dell World. Huge, exciting announcement. You have an HPC background, right? So 8 GPU cards. I mean, that was
8-way, yes,
8-way,
excellent machine, yes.
customers were waiting for that, right? And so now
I was
here
lucky
we are.
to actually work on that. Yes.
Now it's a 760X XA, right? So, everybody just went to GTC. Obviously, we're big partners with NVIDIA. Everything is announced out there. Now we're heading into Dell World. So what are you most excited about as far as Dell, the partnership, and everything that we're doing today?
Especially after today, actually, it's my first time here at Round Rock. It's a great place, and thank you for having me here. It's and with the tours that I've been getting, thanks to you, Gary, I really noticed that Dell has a stake in helping the government succeed. This is what really excites me about today, and even Dell World, of course, it's a great event. But again, it's this great company that is putting his face forward and helping the government succeed in very, very hard areas, of, you can call it business, but this is really mission. So that's what really, I was really pleased today to see that the mission seems to be, a big component of Dell. So
Awesome. How about you guys?
Yeah, to amplify what he said, I think for me the most exciting part is actually being able to take a generative AI, by the throat and take it out into the field. Being able to take and actually do the work that we've only dreamed about doing it in a disconnected, interrupted, low bandwidth or latent environment out in the field, something that even a year ago we really couldn't put our hands around how to do that, right? We're talking small scale, some inferencing here, maybe some object recognition, but now we can go to where the data is and start making an enormous difference today, and that's only through the rapid development of hardware and being able to forward deploy that.
I want to echo that, and really that was my first thought was we started with a challenge from Dell that said, hey, can you do this on a box? That was it. And we were like, well, yeah, I think we could, right? And Dell says, well, what if we give you this box? Like surprise. And we love it, right? That's like, yes, that's a game changer for us because up to that point, you need a lot of compute power. But now when you can scale that down, put that in a vehicle. I think last year we were here with a truck where we were running Bluescape in the truck using a connection back over the cloud, right, back to our data center. Well, now it's all in a box. It's inside, in the vehicle. It's moving. You can be in transit.
Sure.
Yeah,
running all of this amazing technology in the back of a vehicle just is, for me, that's super exciting. And it starts with that initial challenge of what if we did this? And it starts with a creative brainstorming. It starts with collaboration to say, here's what our customers are trying to do. Here's where they're struggling. Here's where we had this crisis response, this flood, this tornado, this disaster. How would we do this better next time? And we take creative brains. They say, hey, let's try this and let's try that. And Dell gives us the resources, the space. We accept the challenge, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
That's awesome. Well, just to wrap this up, I mean, again, thank you guys. This is an intriguing conversation. I guess to close this out, I mean, you said it. I mean, it's not just one that's gonna move the needle on AI, right? It's great partnerships like the ones we have here in this room that go help our customers, right? We're all marching towards the same thing. And so thank you guys today, Drew,
Thank you.
Alan, and Luca, especially you and the partnerships.
Yeah.
And that concludes our conversation. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.